Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Am I live? Can you let me know if I'm on now? We have very nice, clear skies, and we have terrible connection. So let me know if you can see me okay. Let me go ahead and say hello to a few of you that have been here for a few minutes. Hello, Alex the Gamer. Hello. JT, hello. How you doing, McBean? Good to see you. Let's see. Frontier Preppers is in the house. You can't eat goat. Oh, all right. We got that out of the way. Mongo, how you doing? Uh, Victoria Taylor, hello. JD is here. How you doing? Jacqueline Johnson, good to see you. Mama Bear J15, hello. Catherine Flanagan, hello. Lawrence Burnham, how are you doing? Melissa Morris, Retired Reyes is here. Prep Mom 5, hello. Fired for Truth, how you doing? Good evening to you. Good to see you. Lawrence Burnham, hello. Panda Bear is here. Miss Worm, hello, Copernicus. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hello, Tracy. Good to see you as well. Steve Spillman is here. Coffee first, then speak. Let's see, who else do we have in the house? Green Country Agroforestry. Lisa Foster, hello, how are you? Yes, hello to all of our mods that are here. Good to see you, ladies, as always. Let's see who else we got. Off Grid Countess, hello. Nakisha is here. Hello, Nakisha. Good to see you. Jennifer McDade, hello, from Northeast Oregon. Welcome. Maria N. Lori Johnson, hello. Linda Bopp is here. Lisa Foster. Yarn Prepper made it to the party. Hello, Yarn Prepper. Dana Green. KY Believer, hello from Kentucky, or Kentucky Believer. Joe Wilkinson, hello, all the way from Ohio. Norman Patterson, how are you? He's like, where is that bum? I keep showing up late to the party, ladies and gentlemen. My fault, 100%. How you doing, Jeff? Good to see you. Debbie, hello. Renee. Let's see, who else we have? A Hobbit is here. How you doing, Hobbit? Francis Green, Sunshine. Eliza Jane, hello, Eliza. Let's see, who else? Anita McNutt is here. Hello, Anita. Good to see you. Say hello to the young ladies for me. Josephine Day. Let's see who else. Sharon. Hello, Sharon. Okay, I'm getting a 1. I got a 1. That means that I'm good. I hope so. Because I tried to do a speed test before we started and it was showing 0. So I'm like, oh man. Sarah Pak is here. Hello, Sarah. How are you? Good to see you, Tracy. Gracious 48. Hello to you. Sandra Templeton is here. Alaska 1 Andy. Hello. Samantha Mahoney is here. Nuna Beeswax. Ladies and gentlemen, there is Nuna. Nuna, I've been asking for you for like the last 3 or 4 live streams. I'm like, where is Nuna? Did I say something to upset Nuna? And there you are. Very good to see you. I hope you're doing well. We've missed you. Hello, Eric Xavier. Hello, Janice Weichel. Hello, Catherine. Dreams Acres is here. Angels in Jesus Christ. Hello. Lulu, Mr. F, Arlene, Maria, La Gun. Disabled and Prepping is here with her pup. Tracy Bailey. Eclect. Screen is dark. Is my screen good? Do you guys need me to turn on the light? I think that makes me look darker, actually. Let me see. We'll leave it like that. If you need me to turn on the light, let me know downstairs. Okie Prepper, Gatos 8566, Snappy, Plain Prepper, Paula. Let me see. Paul Danette Bailey. Hello to you. David Frost, Zim00, Dana Green, Teresa S, Bigfoot, Debbie C, Wi-Fi Granny, I like that. Cinnamon One, Spencer Billy, James Davis, Casey, Tracy, Leah, Ann Palmer from the great state of Louisiana is here. The Daily Prepper, Ghost Lincoln. Oh goodness. Let's see. Boj Prepper made it. How you doing, Boj? Hello, Rusty, Lawrence. Let your light so shine. Cynthia is here. Cindy Y. Boiled rope lamps. Judith Garden. Pam Campbell. Okay, I'm getting more ones. Where are we at? We're at about 5 minutes. I'm getting pretty bad reception, so I hope that you can at least hear me okay. Hello, Deb. Hello, Tanya. A Hockey Mom. Hello, Brian Knight. Ronnie Braun. I'm just going to say Renegade Black Sheep Homestead. Hello to you from New Mexico. Christopher Manning is here. Deb Sims, hello. Snow Leo, Carolyn Steele, T. Paw. Yes, hello to everyone that just joined in. Oh, Tony, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about Tony as a male. I said Mr. No, Miss Trujillo. All right? Sorry about that, Miss Trujillo. And yes, those M&Ms are already gone. All right? I think that you probably know what my favorite kind of M&Ms are, as far as my wife also and Victor. Victor actually came and joined in a little bit. So thank you, Tony. Thank you very much for that. Hello, SB Matthew Truckin, Maria C7. Hello, Vicky, PA Prepper, Luke Thompson. Hello, Christina Holler, Raptor Ranch. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get to it real quick. I wasn't really planning on doing, obviously, I wasn't planning on doing a live stream today, but I think that whenever a learning experience comes up or a learning or teaching opportunity comes up, that it is good to take advantage of it in real time. And for all of those people like Frontier Prepper who says you can't eat gold, I thought that we could use an example that's happening right now in real time and show you exactly why it is. Now, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not a financial advisor, ladies and gentlemen, and I have to say that because this is the internet. I'm sure you understand. But to tell you why it is that it is a good idea to preserve some of your excess wealth in gold. And before I get into it, I know, Billy, I know I was just messing with you. I know what you meant. Before I get into it, let me tell you what I think about getting gold and or silver, all right, to preserve your excess wealth. It is exactly for that, to preserve excess wealth. Key word being excess. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that if you send me an email and ask me, hey, should I buy some silver or gold? First thing I'm going to ask you is, do you have a full pantry? Do you have a year's supply of food? Do you have all the preps that you're going to need, for the next year, at least, at a minimum? How you doing, One Revolution? Do you have all the preps that you're going to need at least a minimum? Are you debt free? Or do you have a plan on becoming debt free in a certain number of years or months or whatever it may be? I'm going to ask you all those things. And if you say, no, I don't have a year's supply of food, then I would say, no, then you have no business getting any gold or silver. If you say, well, yeah, I've got credit card debt, I've got a mortgage, I've got a car payment, like, no, not in my opinion. Now, this is my opinion. I would say, no, you have no business getting gold and silver. So in my opinion, gold and silver is to preserve your excess wealth, to preserve its purchasing power, and also to ensure you or to hedge you against the devaluation of your local currency, all right? In our case here in the U.S., being the Federal Reserve note, the dollar, all right, or whatever local currency you have to use, whatever country you're in. And it is also a hedge or insurance against governments, because whenever governments fail, their currency fails, because fiat currency is made legal tender by the laws that are passed by that government. All right, so that is why I advocate for gold and silver, and those are the reasons why I advocate gold and silver, for those reasons, right? So I hope that anyone who sees this on the rerun, I'll actually put up a meat and potatoes portion of this live stream tomorrow. That way, those that missed this live stream and don't want to sit through the salutations and questions and stuff like that, take a look at that short clip that I'll put out in a separate video. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that is what it's for. Now, before I forget, there is a question that someone emailed me, and I want to go ahead and answer right now. Someone emailed me and they asked me, do you think this is a good time for me to buy a house? And what I would have to say to that is this. First of all, I think that the market is pretty much at the top right now. But this is what I would say. I also think that interest rates are on their way up eventually. Not tomorrow, not the next day, but eventually. They're already starting to tick up. The interest rate on mortgage rates are already starting to tick up. So what I would say is if you have a very nice down payment, or if you can buy it cash, by all means, go buy your house or property. As long as it is the house or property that you're going to live on for a very long time. If you're thinking about flipping a home, I wouldn't do it. If you're thinking about buying a home and then trying to sell it in 2 or 3 or 4 years so you can make a few dollars, I wouldn't do it. In other words, I would not borrow money right now to try to get some kind of property that I'm going to use as an investment. If I was going to buy a house because that's a house where I was going to live, for a very long time, for the foreseeable future, then yeah, because we all need a place to live, right? And instead of paying rent, I would rather just pay a mortgage as long as I knew I was going to stay there for a really long time. And what I mean by that is I would say at least 10 years, right? So anyone, to the person that asked me that question, I hope that you're watching this. Personally, I would not go out and try to get a loan for a house unless I knew that I was going to be living there for about 10 years, because that was going to be my home. And as long as I know that I'm getting a fixed interest rate, not a variable interest rate, but a fixed interest rate, meaning that it cannot go up and down. It's stable. So if you get a 3% or a 4%, interest rate for your mortgage, that's fine. But if it's going to be a variable interest rate, which means that it can go up and down with the market after a certain period of time, I would definitely not do that. I wouldn't do that in the best of times, right? So I hope that I answered your question. So, let me say thank you very much, Darlene. Thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that. All right, so we got that out of the way. I wanted to make sure that I did not forget to answer that question. All right, so I want to show you an example, ladies and gentlemen, of exactly what it is that I mean about gold and silver protecting your purchasing power, protecting your wealth, your labor, right? We all know what's going on in Russia. We all know that the Russian stock market pretty much crashed. I read an article somewhere today that it had crashed like more than 90%, which is pretty crazy. But in the market also crashing, so did the ruble. The ruble, I believe, has crashed about 70% against the US dollar. What does that mean? That means that for those people that live in Russia that interact with the ruble, anything that is imported, they're going to be paying a lot more. Why is that? Because everything that is imported into Russia, up until they took Russia off the SWIFT system, they had to pay with in U.S. Federal Reserve notes, right? So anything that's imported is going to cost them a lot more. But so are a lot of other things going to cost them a lot more, because their currency was just devalued by about 60% or so. All right, let me go ahead and show you. I'm going to go ahead and share a picture with you. So this right here is their currency. And I only went out 1 month, because previous to that 1 month, their currency was pretty stable. And as you can see here, in the beginning, their currency was about 0.12 of a US dollar, right? So it took about roughly 8 or so rubles to equal 1 US dollar. And as of today, this morning, when I took the screenshot, their ruble was at 0.09. Right? It was at 0.09, which is a decrease of about 65% or so. All right, so they lost 65% of their purchasing power pretty much within the time frame of about 1 week or so. All right, so how do you protect yourself against that? Let me ask you, how do you, if not with commodities, all right? So let's say, for example, if they invested in oil oil has been skyrocketing. They would have been able to protect their purchasing power. All right. But how do you protect yourself against it and still be able to be the holder of that commodity? Right. With gold and silver, ladies and gentlemen. And let me show you exactly what gold and silver is doing in Russia right now, which will show you that it is doing what it's supposed to do. You see, gold and silver, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, is not supposed to be used as an investment. It's supposed to be used as a hedge against the devaluation of your local currency, a hedge against governments. All right. So let me go ahead and show you. Let me go ahead and get this out of here. So as you can see here, and I put this chart up so you can see that their currencies devalue by roughly 65, 70%. We'll call it 60, 65%, something like that, right? But you can see the dramatic drop in the value of their currency, right? So in other words, on a Monday morning, someone in Russia woke up and their ruble was worth this much, and then a week later it was worth 65% less. What is it that was taken away from those people? What is it that was taken away from those people holding the ruble in the span of 1 week? Most people would say, well, 65% of their purchasing power. No, ladies and gentlemen, I keep saying this over and over again to make sure that people can understand, to make sure that you can understand exactly what it was that was taken away from them. Let's say that this here is a ruble. Let's say that this here is 5 rubles, all right? And from 1 week to another, these 5 rubles lost 60% of its purchasing power. What was taken away, ladies and gentlemen, was 60% of the time that it took me to earn these 5 rubles when I earned them. That is what was taken away. That time that you spent earning this money, fiat currency, right? I'll call it money, but it's fiat currency. That time that I spent earning this fiat currency, 65% of it has just evaporated. So you spent that time to earn this money, and that time is gone. You'll never get that time back. It has been taken from you. The energy in it has been transferred to someone else, because the energy that it takes you to earn a dollar or a ruble, whatever it is, that energy is not destroyed. It is merely transferred from one party to another. And in Russia right now, it just happens that 65% of the energy that people used to earn money in the past, from 1 week and before, 65% of that energy has just been transferred to someone else and taken away from them. Please, that's the way that you need to understand it. That way you can understand what a great theft of your life inflation really is. Let me go ahead and share with you. Now, remember that the ruble lost roughly 65%, let's say, of its purchasing power. Okay. Now, let me go ahead and show you the chart of gold in rubles over the last month, just like I showed you the value of the ruble. Give me a second here. I have to get my other screen up here. Brave. Okay, this one right here. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So if you take a look at this chart, this is the chart of gold priced in rubles, right? Gold priced in rubles. If you take a look on the 1st of February, all right, gold was priced at roughly 139,000 rubles, right, for 1 ounce of gold. I'm going to take my calculator out here. You won't be able to see it, but I'm going to take it out so I can do a little math. So it was priced at 139,000 rubles for 1 ounce of gold. And then today or yesterday, this is as of March 1st, it was priced at 198,000. So if we take 139,000 and we divide it by 198, we come up with 70%, which means that gold from the 1st of February to yesterday, gold went up in price in rubles by 70%. Now remember that the ruble lost about 65% of its purchasing power, which means that those people that were holding on to rubles lost. And those people that had converted some of their excess wealth into gold lost nothing. They lost nothing. Why? Because in this case, gold did what it is supposed to do, and that is preserve your purchasing power, right? I hope that all of the people that have in the past stated that, what good is gold going to do me? You can't eat it. Ladies and gentlemen, I've never stated once that you should hold gold as a hedge against an SHTF scenario, right? Because I believe that gold is only good for preserving your wealth. That way, once you get from crisis A to B, once you get to point B, you can have some wealth preserved that you can start over with. However, in this case, I guess you can call this somewhat of a crisis in Russia, right? In this crisis, gold and silver can be during the crisis, right? Am I coming in? I'm gonna go down here real quick. Let me say thank you very much to Homestead Gem before I get back in here. Hello, AP. I have been working on prepping fuel, but my containers I ordered are delayed. Yeah, that's how it is for everyone nowadays. Thank you very much. Hello, Bonnie. Okay, hopefully I'm still coming in. Okay, great. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm not going to beat the dead horse on gold, but I just wanted to show you a real life example of where gold has done exactly what it's supposed to do. And what is it supposed to do? It's supposed to preserve your purchasing power. And those people in Russia right now that are holding gold, that have been holding gold before the devaluation of their currency, they know exactly what gold has done for them. And that is not make them poor, not allow governments to steal their wealth. It's maintain their purchasing power. And for those of you that are wondering, what is silver doing at this time for Russia? Let me go ahead and show you. Give me a second here. I got to look it up. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, silver is pretty much the same story. If you take a look, and again, I went back to February 1st because before then it was pretty flat, up and down a little bit, but not as drastic as we can see right here. So here on the 1st of February, silver, 1 ounce of silver in Russia was selling for roughly 1800. Well, let's say 1780 roughly, right? 1780 rubles. And then if we divide what it's at right now, which is 25.96, that is 68.5% increase. So in both cases, in the case of silver, in the case of gold, they have both preserved the purchasing power of whoever is holding it now in Russia and purchased it before this big devaluation in their local currency. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what I wanted to share with you, because unfortunately, I'm not happy that what's happening is happening, but since I saw that it's happening, I'm like, this is a very good teaching moment for someone to actually see in real time what's happening over there when it comes to people that are holding gold and silver, and when it comes to the devaluation of their local currency. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what is going to happen here. One day, eventually, we will have had enough. All right. And our dollar, or not we, but the world will have had enough of the Federal Reserve note. And it will take a dip, just like you've seen that dip in Russia. The only problem is that when it happens to the US, it's going to happen to the entire world. So whenever the US goes into a deep financial depression, the entire world is going to follow, because most of the countries in the world are pegged to the US dollar. Most of the countries in the world borrow in US dollars, meaning that they have to pay back in US dollars. So let's say what's the big deal about a country borrowing in US dollars and then the dollar getting stronger like it did in the case of the ruble? Ladies and gentlemen, the big deal is this, is that let's say Corporation A, all right, in Russia, borrowed money in US dollars. and they're hoping to pay it, and they have to pay it back in US dollars. Well, if their ruble is devalued against the dollar by 65%, now it means that they have to earn 65% more rubles to pay back the dollars that they borrowed. That's what the problem is. And the bigger problem is that, have you ever heard the phrase that if you owe the bank $1,000,000, then you have a problem? But if you owe the bank $1 billion, then the bank has a problem. The thing is that these countries that have taken out debt in dollar denominated loans, they don't owe back the bank $1,000,000. You're looking about billions and trillions of dollars. So it is the bank that has a problem. And that is why the Federal Reserve, that is why the government do not like to have a strong dollar. They rather have a weak dollar. That way emerging markets can pay back their loans easier, and that way we can export whatever products it is that we export easier and be able to export more. All right. Oh, wait a minute. We have a good question here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave it at that. That's what I wanted to put through. I thought it was an important message. I thought it was a good teaching moment to let those that maybe don't understand a whole bunch about why it is that it's, in my opinion, a smart thing to hold some of your wealth in gold and silver. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, because gold and silver is real money. And nowadays, unfortunately, governments around the world have ceased using real money. Why? Because it does not bind their hands. It does not hold them to account. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So those that say that you can't eat gold and silver, you're 100% right. But like Frontier Prepper said here a few minutes ago, you may not be able to eat it, but I guarantee you, you can go and exchange it for whatever currency it is that you trade in, and then use that currency to go buy the things that you need in order to live. Right? Let me go ahead and take a look at a few questions. Here's a good question from Laura. Laura says, best suggestion for a camp stove. I have to tell you that my favorite camp stove right now is the gas one. Let's see, Laura, go to my Amazon storefront and look for the gas one camp stove. It should be near the top. It's a black one. I think it's an awesome camp stove. Two reasons. One, because it's I think it's the biggest rated or the largest rated BTU camp stove there is. I think it's either 15 or 18,000 BTU, which is really good. It's very well constructed, in my opinion, but it's dual fuel. It will run either on butane or propane, and I like that a lot. And I did do a video reviewing that a while back, so just look up. If you go to YouTube or my videos, type in gas one camp stove, and it should pop up. And it's a very nice, it's very easy to use too. I really like that camp stove a lot. Hey, how you doing, Hawkeye? Good to see you. Hello, Jan. Good to see you, Jan. Hello, Gail. All right, so what are we in? Look at that. We're only at 28 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm already done with my spiel. So, oh, you know what? I wanted to show you something else. This is something that's kind of funny because I had a conversation with a gray man earlier today. This morning, I had a conversation with him. I called him and we talked for a little bit. Let me show you this real quick. So Grayman and I were talking today, and I was talking to Grayman about the Federal Reserve. Okay, and I told him, I said, you know what? I was talking to him about Russia and the Federal Reserve and stuff, and I say, the Federal Reserve, I don't think they're going to raise interest rates, because they said they were going to raise interest rates here in March. I said, I don't think they're going to raise interest rates because now they have an excuse not to. Now with this Russia thing going on, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what. Let me go ahead and put this real quick. Let me remove that for a little bit. Let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, the Federal Reserve, they're probably doing cartwheels, all right, because of what Russia's doing. They are probably doing cartwheels because now this takes the pressure off of them, because now they're going to be able to print so much more. All right, they're going to be able to print so much more. And trust me, only because they raise interest rates doesn't mean that the spigot is going to stop. So now they're going to be able to print so much more and have an excuse. Well, we have to print more. The government has to borrow more money. because of this thing that's going on in Ukraine and Russia. So they're doing cartwheels right now. Trust me. So I was talking to Grayman about this, and I said, yeah, I don't think they're going to raise interest rates. And even if they did, maybe they'll raise it by 0.25%. If they did, because they cannot raise it any meaningful amount. Think about it. If inflation is running at 7.5%, and they raise the Fed rate to 0.25% or even to 0.5%, what in the world is that doing for anyone? It's doing absolutely zero. You're still 7% in the negative in real terms, meaning that you're still losing 7% of your purchasing power every single year in real terms, right? In real terms. So if they have even if they have a 50 basis point increase in the rates, what in the world does that matter? It's nothing. It's negligible, right? It's nothing. So anyways, after I finished talking to Grayman about this, we hung up, and then I started looking for a few articles, looking through some articles, and then I came across this article. Fed Chairman Powell kills the March 50 basis point rate hike, but leaves door open for later in 2022. So they've already used it as an excuse not to increase rates. And if they do decide to increase rates later on, maybe later on in the end of this month or the middle of this month or next month, I guarantee, ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to be any significant amount. Maybe 25 basis points, which is going to do absolutely nothing for anyone. Ladies and gentlemen, for those people that don't understand, it is the Federal Reserve that is responsible for the what do you call it? For the equity. You know how people are always talking about equity. There's no equity, right? I don't really like that word, but it is because of the Federal Reserve that there is a disparity in the wealth gap in Americans, where you have the 1% and then you have everyone else. It is because of the Federal Reserve. If people would just understand that the Federal Reserve is the enemy of the people, they are the enemy of the people. They put an old guy up there that looks like a nice grandpa, old Jerome Powell, all right, Mr. Powell. They put a guy like that up there that talks his fancy words so that we laymen, we can just let those words go right over our head and not even research what he's saying. But they are the enemy of the people. It is because of the Federal Reserve that we have such a large, wealth disparity in this country and in other countries. It is because of the Federal Reserve. So whenever we look at that, and I'm not rich, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not rich in money terms. I mean, I'm rich in life, right? I am very rich in life, but I'm not rich in money terms. I don't have a lot of fiat. I'm comfortable, right? But I don't have a lot of fiat. So it's not like I'm a millionaire here trying to tell you this. When I hear people say and talk bad about, oh, the rich this and the rich that, well, ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. If you were doing your taxes this year, right, and your tax preparer said, well, listen, the IRS and the government, they just came out with a new law that said that you only have to pay 5% of the taxes that you would have owed. So if you've already paid into taxes, you're going to get 95% of everything you paid back. How would you like that? I don't think anyone would complain. I wouldn't complain. I mean, that would be awesome. I'd be able to get back enough to probably buy me a car or something. So I wouldn't complain. But how many of you would really complain if the government came out with the law that said that, hey, you're going to get back 95% of all the taxes you ever paid? No one would complain about it, ladies and gentlemen. Well, the wealthy, they are playing by the rules that the government set forth for them. And because the government set forth these rules for the wealthy, they become so wealthy that they are now in control of the government. So when we blame the wealthy for their riches, it is because of the government and the policies of the Federal Reserve that these wealthy people have gotten filthy wealthy. So when we talk about, we should tax the rich. First of all, anyone here, can anyone say that they've worked for a poor person? No one can say that they've worked for a poor person and were able to make a living and feed their family. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you take 100 people, just take 100 people in general, there doesn't have to be any class, and you give them all $1 million and come back a year later, some of those people will have turned that million into millions. Some of those people will maybe have 900,000 because they're conservative. They put their money in a non-risky account and they live conservatively, and they spend only what they need to spend. Some of those people will have zero, nothing. Well, they will have spent it all. And some of those people, not only will they have spent it all, but they'll be in debt. So everyone is different, ladies and gentlemen. It is the government that puts the laws, policies in place that allows these wealthy to get wealthier to the point where they can now buy politicians. That's what's happened to our country, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's happened to the equity in wages, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's happened. And now with the Federal Reserve, how is it that the Federal Reserve can affect how a wealthy person gets wealthier and a poor person gets poorer? Let me explain that to you here in a minute or two. Well, I don't think anything I do takes a minute or two, but I'll try to hurry it up. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this. If you're a wealthy person and you want to borrow money, do you think you're going to pay more interest on that money or less interest on that money than a person who's just, let's say, an average working person making 60 grand a year? You already know that the person that's wealthy, that has more assets, that has more collaterals to put up, is going to get a much better interest rate for that money. So what does the Federal Reserve do? The Federal Reserve goes ahead and they keep interest rates low purposefully. And then these fat cats, they go and they borrow a whole bunch of money at a very low interest rate. But what they do with that money is what makes them a lot of money. They take that money and they buy real things with it. They buy real assets with it. They buy investment properties. They buy paintings that are worth millions of dollars that they know will gain in value over time. That's what they do with their money. And as that money is being lent out, ladies and gentlemen, at the same time, it is creating inflation in the economy. Why? Because the more money that there is in the economy, the more inflation there is, right? Because inflation is when you add money to the money supply. So one of the ways that money is created is it's borrowed into existence. So when you go to a bank and you borrow money to buy a house, when you get a mortgage, that money that you just got to buy that house, that money was created out of thin air. Okay? So that money was just created out of thin air, and it's now inflating the money supply in the economy because you borrowed it into existence. Same thing when the rich borrow money. But when they borrow $40 million to buy a house, not only did they borrow that money at a low interest rate, but that $4 million was part of the inflation that got thrown into the economy. And now that is also going to affect the prices of things, because the more inflation there is, the more money creation being put into the economy, the higher that prices are going to get, because you have more dollar bills chasing around the same number or lesser number of goods. So now that they bought their house at 40 million for 1% interest, like Zuckerberg did here back in 2016, I think it was. Now that they did that, inflation starts to do its work. All right. And now, since inflation is starting to be realized within the economy, that $40 million house that you bought a year ago or 2 years ago is now worth 45 million or 50 million or 60 million. That's how they stay rich. Now, when a person that just works for a living wage, when they borrow money, they don't borrow money at 1% interest. And even if they did, they usually borrow money because they need that money to live. They need that money to buy a house so they can live in it, not so that they can invest in it. And they end up paying real interest on that house instead of paying bare bones interest. And the inflation that ensues is usually a lot lower than what they're paying on that house. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it works the exact opposite for the wealthy than it does for the working class. That is how the Federal Reserve has kept the rich rich and has kept the poor poor. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So don't get angry at the guy that worked his whole life to be able to buy a Domino's pizza chain. All right. He worked his whole life and then he saved up enough money for the startup so that he can have his own domino chain. And now he's 45 years old or 50 years old. And now he's a millionaire because he's got 7 domino chains, domino pizza chains. Don't get angry at him because he's a millionaire. Get angry at the Federal Reserve. Get angry at the government and Congress who allow the Federal Reserve to stay in power. That is, ladies and gentlemen, a darn lesson that should be taught to everyone in school. And guess what? Schools don't teach that. You know why? Because schools are not in place to allow you to teach you how to think. All right? They want to teach you, they're in place to teach you what to think instead of teaching you how to think. That's what I was trying to say. So it is our responsibility. It is our responsibility as parents. It is your responsibility as an uncle or as an aunt or as a brother to teach this to your children or your nieces or your nephews. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the most powerful thing that no government can ever take away from us, is knowledge. And with knowledge, you get ideas. With ideas, you get ideologies. With ideologies, you will never be beat. An idea or an ideology that is strong enough can never lose, especially when it's the right one. Okay, I think I'm done. You see, I had to take a few more minutes. I think I took more than 2 minutes to explain that. Let's see. Mongo says, if the world reserve currency ever moves from the USD, then get rid of your excess USDs. When the world reserve currency changes from USD, I think that before that happens, I think it'll be a crash, because I don't think that the Federal Reserve is going to go down without a fight, to tell you the truth. All right, how far behind am I? Behind. Frontier Pepper says, what if the country doesn't pay back? Well, if the country doesn't pay back, it's going to be those businesses that or banks that loan them that money that lose. So that is why the federal government, that is why the federal government, the Fed, and even big banks, that's why they don't like a strong dollar, because it is they that are going to end up losing, because they're the ones that lend them the money. So they don't like a strong dollar because it causes more of a chance for emerging markets who borrowed in dollars to be able to default, in the loans that they took out. Oh, that's awesome, Waldo. So you got the wheat package that our community member gave away. Awesome. Oh, Trump will be live streaming for the very first time on Telegram in 3 minutes. Okay, well, have fun. How you doing, Louise? Bizza Rizza Gizza is in the house. How you doing, Bizza? Good to see you. How you doing? Better than ever? Sunshine, hello. Gigi, AP, how did your freeze-dried meatballs turn out? Have raw ribeye and currently, and we'll let you know how it turns out. What is your rating, 1 to 10, on the Oxen Farms? I like the Oxen Farms vegetable stew blend. I use it. I don't like it to like make a soup out of it, but I like it to, or my wife really likes it to like add to chili and to soups and stuff like that, along with everything else we add, because it gives it that extra fiber and stuff like that. So yeah, I like it. The one thing I don't like about the vegetable blend is, to me, I think they use too much onions. So whenever you use it, it's going to taste oniony, in my opinion. That's my taste. But the freeze-dried meatballs, I haven't put them in there yet because I want to do a video about it, and I haven't had time to actually do the video. But I do have them ready. My freeze dryer is ready. I actually just changed the oil on it yesterday. So all I have to do is just let the oil settle. I usually, whenever I change the oil in my freeze dryer, I try not to change it right before I'm going to use it. I try to change it and let it sit for at least a whole day. That way I don't overfill it. Because some of the oil is still hanging around the parts and stuff like that. So I try to change it like a day before I'm going to use it next, so I don't overfill it. But I'm hoping that either tonight or tomorrow morning I can start on the meatballs, and then I have some chicken I want to freeze dry, and then I'm going to be doing some pressure canning of beef. So I think I'll do a short video of showing you how everything comes out. How I put in the meatballs, how they come out, the texture and all that, along with the chicken that I'm going to put in there, and also the pressure canning. I'll probably combine all of those things into one short video. That way, at least it'll be a little entertainment. And you know what, Mongo? I recommend that generator. That's the one that I use for my house. That's my house generator, and I really like it a lot. I think it's a good quality generator. How you doing, Pantry Only? Pantry Only Recipes, hello? Second here. How you doing, Kaylin? I thought I seen you there. I was like, is that Kaylin? How you doing, Financial Sovereignty? Good to see you. I like the name. Man, I'll tell you what, Mary. If I ever saw that, I would buy like 10 cases. That is such a good. I'm like jealous right now. All right, I'm like jealous right now because I pay like $5, something like that, like $5 or $6 for just one can of the butane, of the 8-ounce butane. Incredible. That is such a good price. Oh, Lisa, you got a Harvest Right freeze dry. Good for you. You're gonna love it. Make sure you use it. If you don't use it, you're not gonna make your money back. You're not gonna get your return on investment. So I try to use mine as much as I can. I keep pumping out that meat. I like mainly meat products, but I also really like how shredded mozzarella and shredded Kobe Jack cheese come out. Right? Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, who wants to live through the apocalypse without a little bit of shredded mozzarella cheese, right? To make an apocalypse pizza with. All right, so it comes out great. Hey, how you doing, Diabetic Prepper? Good to see you, man. Hello, Lindley. Lindley likes the truth. How are you doing? Forrest, I really don't know. I don't like to predict what they're going to do. And even talking to you all about the interest rate hikes, that I didn't think they were going to do it or anything like that. Like I was even talking to Gray Man saying, I don't like to talk like that on the channel. Like, I don't think they're going to do it or this, or I think this is when that's going to happen, because they can do whatever they want. It's not going to change the outcome, right? It's not going to change the outcome. It's just going to change the speed in which it happens. Remember, if you've heard me say that we are on a moving train and that train is headed towards a wall, it just depends on how fast the train is headed at any given time. But eventually it will hit that wall. Right? There is nothing that the Federal Reserve can do to get out of this mess. There's nothing. The only thing that it can do, if we allow them to do it, is come out with a centrally banked digital currency. And if that happens, forget it. That's it. It's the end. For us, at least. Oh, wait a minute. Am I still freezing up? I'm going to bring it all the way down because I do have a bad connection today, I believe. Let me know if I'm still freezing up, ladies and gentlemen. David Frost, I have some Vega canned cheese from Australia. And I believe it's from Australia. And I've had it for years. All right. I think I reviewed that Vega canned cheese probably the first year that I had the Alaska Prepper channel start up. Yep, it's good cheese, and it makes a good little whatchamacallit. It makes a great grilled cheese sandwich. I think that's what I did with this, was make a grilled cheese sandwich when I reviewed it. So yeah, it's a great cheese, and it does last a long time. I think I've had the cheese that I got there for at least about 5 or 6 years. I think I've had it, if not longer. Hey, how you doing, Matthew Truckin? Yeah, you know what? That's a better price than here. Here it's $15.99, but it's still worth buying it because it's cheaper to buy it like that than it is if I were to do my own. The beef, I don't think so, but still, I'm gonna be doing some beef because I do have some spots that are empty in my quart meat section in my pantry. So I'll be filling those in with some beef. So I like beef. Well, KC, you can pressure can anything. How it comes out, that's another question. You know what? I've never tried pressure canning pepperoni, but I really can't see what it would hurt. Uh, in my opinion, if you pressure can it like in the slices, it might burn them up a little bit because of the high heat, and there'll be mostly air in there. All right, uh, and if you pressure can them in the stick form, then you may lose a lot of the fat. Personally, I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't pressure can any pepperoni. But hey, listen, next time that you're doing a pressure canning session, save one jar, save one jar and put some pepperoni in there. That way you can see how they come out. That's how I like to experiment whenever I have a question like that I'm interested in. Oh, and ladies and gentlemen, I am pretty excited because I'm actually going to do this tonight, either tonight or tomorrow morning. I have so much to do, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, okay? So don't be upset with me. I found this product at such an awesome price, but first I have to see if it's good. And if it's good, I'm going to let you know about it. That way you can capitalize on it, all right? Because you can only buy one case of this at a time, right? It's a meat product, all right? It's not spam, all right? I have a lot of spam, but I'm going to be doing that either later on tonight. Maybe I'll do it for dinner, to have it for dinner, or early tomorrow morning. But I will try to have that video up for tomorrow. That way you can all check it out. I also have another product that I want to review that I found that is awesome. Yeah, I have a couple of pretty awesome products. And how many people we have here? 449. I'm going to go ahead and give you a spoiler alert. You know how I've told you before that I could never. I've been asked several times, hey, what do you think about the Jackery solar generator? And I've said I don't know. I don't own one. I've heard they are a good solar generator, and that's it. But I don't have one. I've never reviewed one. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They're sending me a Jackery 1000 so that I can review. Right, but the thing that excites me the most is that they're also going to give away one to one of you. So when you all see, it probably won't be for the next 2 or 3 weeks because it's in the mail. So when you all see me put up a video of reviewing the Jackery 1000, make sure you watch that video and make sure you enter to win, because it's going to be a full size one that they give away. I was able to talk them into giving away a full size one instead of a smaller one this time. So I'm pretty excited. Somebody's going to win. I've got so many solar generators that I'm not really excited. Number one, I really wanted to review that because I've heard it's a good generator. Just never had the opportunity to do it. And I couldn't because I can't get one up here. But they're going to go ahead and ship it to me, and I'll review it. And then we're going to have a giveaway. And somebody's going to be lucky enough to win one of those, one of the regular big ones. So pretty excited for whoever wins that. It's going to be awesome. Really, really enjoy doing that. Let's see. Sharon said, so should a person sell their silver? Should a person sell their silver, and would you pull your money from the banks? I will never sell my silver. All right. I can't say what someone else would do or what you should do. I will never sell my silver unless I need to sell it to use it for what it was meant to be used for. Right. So, for example, as long as I can sustain my family's standard of living, all right, and they can have the things that they need to live a comfortable life, as long as they can sustain that using funny money, then yes, I'm going to keep sustaining that system using funny money. But if the time ever comes where our dollar is devalued to such an extent that those who hold it are now actually losing purchasing power, and I need to supplement my family standard of living with some of the metals that I put away, then absolutely I would sell it at that time, but not now. All right. And should you pull all your money? Would you pull all your money out of the banks? No, I would never pull all my money out of the bank. I never recommend that anyone pull all their money out of the bank. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm going to tell you what I think. I think that everyone ought to have an emergency fund of at least 3 to 6 months. And half of your emergency fund should be in the bank, and half of it should be somewhere where you can get to it in cash. Where if you need a cash right now, it wouldn't take you an hour to be able to get to that money and have it in your hands, and you have it. Why? Because most people nowadays, they pay their bills online, and that's how they live, by paying their bills online or with a credit card or whatever, right? But if something were to ever happen where you could not get to your online account because the internet went down, the ATM stopped working, the credit card stopped working, you will still have some cash available that you can get to be able to use during that time. And any excess wealth, what I do with my excess wealth is on the first of every month, I pay myself first by getting a few ounces of silver. Sometimes I was only able to get 2 ounces of silver. Sometimes I go in there and get 20 ounces of silver because maybe I got my income tax back, or maybe I got a bonus at work. Because when I used to work, I used to get a bonus every year around June or something like that. I think it was around June. But yeah, sometimes I only got 2 ounces because that's all I had. Sometimes I would get a whole roll, 20 ounces, because I got a bonus or something. So that's what I do. If you have millions of dollars in cash, then I would definitely be getting a lot of gold and putting it away. But that's what I would be doing. Let's see. You know what, ladies? Hey, Angie, how you doing? Good to see you. There's Angie. Well, all of the ladies are here now. They're all here. All of our moderators are here. So thank you all for being here. I think I said hello to Jan. Yes, I did. So, ladies and gentlemen, since Yarn Prepper brings this up, thank you, Yarn Prepper. I'm going to go ahead and take just a minute to let you know how you can support the channel. And every way that you can support the channel, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't cost you any money. If you want to donate 15 to 30 seconds of your time, let one of my ads run through on my videos when it runs through. That really helps a lot. Many hands make little work. So I thank you if you do that. Doesn't cost you any money, just a few seconds of your time. If you are going to buy something anyways, my Amazon link is down below. All right. And if you're looking for long-term food stores, you already know what's the best long-term food in the market, period. Right. And in my opinion, that's Nutrient Survival. Right. So those links are down below. If you're going to get any of that, you can help me out by using the links. And if not, that's okay, ladies and gentlemen. Give my videos a like. And if you want to donate 15 seconds of your time, that really helps. And that's it. Thank you. Look at that. Village Homestead says, love my Jackery. Good. We'll have to see. I've never even touched one, so we'll have to see. And let me go ahead and explain to you why it is, because some of you may be asking, well, AP, if you can't buy one because they won't ship it to you, then how is the company shipping you one? Well, the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, is that since the bigger solar generators, since they have a battery that's, I think, anything over 100 watt hours, I think, since they have a big battery in there, it takes like a special license that you have to get in order to be able to ship it, and it costs a lot more money, right? So these companies, the ones that send them to me, they have to pay a lot more for shipping than what they regularly would in the lower 48s. That's why whenever I do a giveaway for a solar generator, I always say, hey, it has to be someone that's in the lower 48s. They're not going to ship it to another country, and they're not going to ship it to they won't even ship it to Alaska if it's somebody that wins from here in Alaska, because it costs them so much to ship it. And I seen the last time that I got one shipped, which was the Opus. I have it right here. I have it right there. The last time that I had that shipped, I seen the box it came in with, and it had additional special tags on it. So it just cost them a lot more, and companies are in business to make money, so they're not going to be spending more money than what they normally would. So that's why, ladies and gentlemen, that's why I just thought that maybe somebody had that question. Well, prepping fool. Never say that. I never win anything because one of the gentlemen, or the gentleman, it was a gentleman and a lady. All right, it was a lady and a gentleman that won the Opus 600-watt solar generator, and they were nice enough too to send them a set of solar panels, which I never asked them for that, but they just included it in there, which was awesome. But anyways, the guy that won that, he said that that's the first time he's ever won anything in his life. So you never know. Okay, you never know. Okay, I'm looking. I'm looking. Look at that. Jennifer Skinner is in the house. How you doing? Look at this. Jeff Riffle is here telling jokes. Jeff Riffle says, you can send the Jackie my address now. Well, Jeff, that's going to be on a random generator. All right, my friend? Ladies and gentlemen, what time is it? Man, we're already at an hour. Wouldn't it be cool if, like, for some reason, I don't know, maybe Bitcoin goes up to $1 billion of Bitcoin? Wouldn't it be cool if I became like a billionaire? Like, I would get on one day and have the awesomest giveaway. Like, you get a house, you get a house. I know, I'm only dreaming. I know. Minuteman, that's worried me before as well. That there has worried me before as well. But I do bank with a credit union, and they've always been outstanding, outstanding. Whenever I pull money out, they've always been really, really good. So, you know, I'm kind of a personable person when it comes to business as well. So whenever I go to like a bank or a credit union, I like to do it in person, and I always get to know the people behind the counter, and I always bring them presents. Like for Christmas, I brought them a big old cookie platter, right, to the bank, to the credit union that I deal with, right. So, I always like to do things like that, not so that I can get something out of it, but because I really do like people. I like people, especially people that are out there working every day, making your life better by the work that they're doing, by the service they're providing you. So I do like to do that for them, but it's always nice to have a good relationship with everyone that you do any kind of business with. Frontier Prepper says he doesn't need a bank because Mrs. D already takes all his money and his bonuses. Well, CB, if you don't have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses to put away in a safe place, then you have no problem. Then you don't have a problem at all. Oh yeah, hey David, you're gonna like those fish sticks. Those fish sticks. I don't know if you all saw my last payday prep, but those fish sticks that we get at Costco's, those are like the best fish sticks that I've ever had. They have a lot of fish in them, and they don't have that much breading. Let us know how you like them, David, when you try them. That way, other people will know. There you go, CR. You're welcome. Go get that silver. Hey, how you doing, LB? Good to see you. LB says, I noticed Costco is selling two Jackery generators for about $1,200. Really? Well, guess what? Guess who I'm visiting after this? I'm gonna go and get on Costco's website. Although, you know what? The last time that I got on Costco's website to see if they had any of the Duracell solar generators, they did, but they wouldn't ship it. I guess the only time that I've lucked out with Costco and solar generators is when they actually have a shipment that's sent to their store, and they have like a pallet or two of them to sell. That's what it is. I've got a lot of solar generators. A couple of times refused refused to review a company solar generator because they didn't want to give me anything. Whenever I review something like from a company, like a solar generator, I always tell them, hey, I don't want any money, but I want to get at least one solar generator, either a smaller one or two, so that I can give away. And if they're not willing to give me at least that, then I'm not going to do it. They better be sending me something awesome for me to do it without them paying me. Like let's say, for example, I got one of those solar, like So, ladies and gentlemen, listen. All right, I have to tell you this. If Blue Eddy ever calls me and asks me to review their whole house solar generator, you know, that big one that you have to carry around in a trolley. If they ever ask me to review that and they'll send it to me at no cost to myself, I'm not going to ask them if they can give me a couple of small ones to give away. All right, I'm not going to ruin it for myself. Because I would definitely do a review for one of those. Hey, Sean in Alaska is here. How you doing, Sean? Good to see you, brother. Hey, how you doing, Buzz? Good to see you. Florida Rican homesteader. How you doing? Taterto's grandma. How you doing, Taterto's grandma? Let me see. Christine Colson asks, what kind of silver do you buy or suggest us ordinary people buy? Well, us ordinary people, what I would recommend, if I was a financial advisor, I would recommend that us ordinary people get just regular bullion. This is just a regular, generic, or privately minted silver coin. It's 1 ounce of 999 silver. So it's 99.9% pure silver. Okay? That's what I would recommend because it has the lowest premium, right? Now, if you get yourself a silver coin that's a sovereign that was minted by a government mint, you know, in this case US or Canadian or any other government mint, then you're going to be paying a higher premium. And what a premium is what I like to say is that what the premium is it's what allows the silver to get from point A to point B, because the spot price is the price of that silver at the manufacturer, right? It's at the refinery. That is the spot price. The premium is the price difference between what the spot price is and what you pay for it, right? Which is usually right now it's running about $4.50 more than the spot price. But that premium, some people get upset at that premium. That premium is what allows that coin to move from point A to point B, because nobody works for free. The person that drives the truck doesn't work for free. The person that stamps the coin doesn't work for free. So if you're just starting out, what I would do if I was just starting out is I would concentrate on getting silver coins or rounds that are the lowest premium, that are at least 999, 99.9% purity. Why? Because silver is silver is silver. And although this has a higher premium than this one, if you ever have to cash them in, more than likely you're just going to get spot for each of them. You're going to get spot for this one or for this one, right? Now, if you want to get constitutional silver, which is like silver quarters, silver dimes, silver dollars, silver half dollars, you can get these as well. However, right now, for some reason, I don't know why, it must be supply and demand, the premium on these are a lot higher than even this right here. The premium is actually higher on these than the silver eagles. So that's what I would do if I was just starting out. And slow and steady does win the race, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it. Let's say you get paid every 2 weeks. If you get paid every 2 weeks, that's 26 paychecks a year. If you get 2 ounces of silver every time you get paid, you know, that's what, 52 ounces of silver by the end of the year. Man, I'll tell you what, there's some people in Venezuela and some people in Russia right now that I bet you would have wished that they'd been doing that for a few years before, you know, the financial collapse that they had happened. How you doing, Beth? Good to see you. Okay, let me see. Let me see. We're at an hour and 9 minutes. Let me go ahead and bring this down some, ladies and gentlemen, and then we'll probably start to close it off. I didn't really expect this live stream to go on too long. Deb78, thank you very much, Deb. Thank you, Deb. I'm not gonna read it out loud because it'll make me blush. Thank you so much, and thank you for being here. Thank you very much. We have a great community, ladies and gentlemen. That's why it comes out in all of us. Let me see. Hmm. Well, Sunset as AP need a solar generator, but debt would be needed. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, I just can't tell. I mean, I can only tell you what would I do. What would I do right now if I didn't have a solar generator? What I if I didn't have a generator at all? What I would do first of all is I would, unless the world was coming down, unless like if I saw like what's happening in Russia right now, right? If it was happening on a daily basis where the market was just crashing and crashing and crashing and inflation was just going up and going up and going up every day, and I mean it's chaos, then yeah, I'd grab my credit card and say, yeah, I'm going to get everything that I can possibly get on this credit card. You know, I'm going to get it all because everything is coming down. But if it's not, what I would do is I would save up for it slowly, right? Even if you can save $100 a month, you know, and if I didn't have a generator at all, either a gas or a solar generator, I would definitely get a gas powered generator before I got a solar generator. Because although a gas powered generator, preferably dual fuel, gas and propane, because a gas powered generator, you can determine if it runs or not as long as there's gasoline available. And you can always put up gasoline, at least put enough away for an emergency. So if you have 4 cans of gasoline, put away 20 gallons, and you have one of those small generators like the one that I have, the blue one or the Furman, that's like 1600 running watts. If you have one of those, that thing will run for probably about a whole week on 4 or 5 cans of gasoline, because 1 gallon lasts like 10 hours or something like that, and it'll be enough to power your refrigerator, your freezer, and you know any other small appliance, and keep the lights on. All right, so that's what I would do first, is get that. And those, like the Furman that I purchased, that 1600 watt, I think it is, Furman that I purchased, that was like $350 that I got it on sale, or $400. So it's something that's doable. And maybe you may not be able to get it right now, but if you stay disciplined and maybe put $100 away every month, hey, by the summertime you'll have it. That's all. We can only do what we can do, ladies and gentlemen. Right? We are all in different parts of our lives, and we can only do what we can individually do. So as long as you're working towards that goal, then you're doing something that's proactive that will help you later on. So that's what I would recommend as far as a solar generator, is to make sure that you have a gas generator first, right? And people will say, well, what if gasoline runs out? I said have a gas generator first. I didn't say not to get a solar generator, but get your gas generator first. That way, later on, if you can save up some more, you can then get a solar generator. And what I would recommend is, if you're going to get a solar generator, don't be too anxious, and try to save up as much as you can so that you can get the best one that you can afford. Like, I would rather see you get a 1,000 or 1,500 watt solar generator, a watt hour, I mean, solar generator. I would rather see you get it 6 months from now than for you to get one this month or next month that's only a 300 watt solar generator, just because you were too anxious to get it and you wanted it now. I'd rather you wait 6 months and save up to get the best one that you can afford. That way you can get more bang for your buck, and it will end up serving you better down the line. Okay, let's bring it down. Let's see. Anyone else notice? Daniel Sampson says, how much silver bullion before investing in constitutional silver? Well, really, the reason that I stopped getting constitutional silver is because the premium was so high. But either would work. Like, for example, if you can find constitutional silver at a premium that is less than just regular silver bullion, I'd buy the constitutional silver. I really like constitutional silver. I like having those quarters and dimes because not only are they recognizable to other people, but they can tell them apart. If you a silver quarter or a silver dime to someone who's not really familiar with silver, all you have to do is compare the silver one to the one that's clad, and they'll know the difference, and they'll be able to tell that there is a difference in quality. And once they hold it, they'll be able to tell right away the difference that it is, that it has in weight and how it feels, and why it is that it gets value. So it's easier to explain to them why it is that that silver coin has value. you know. So I would rather get that, to tell you the truth. But like I said, the last several times that I've been to the coin shop, probably the last 4 or 5 months that I've been there, silver has, constitutional silver has had a much higher premium than your regular silver bullion. So, I would say get whatever you're comfortable with getting, but I would try to get whatever has the lowest premium. Because again, I'll say it again, silver is silver is silver. It's an element. You cannot change it. So either whatever silver is good. Yes, indeed, Mongo. And that's one of the things that I've said before, is that a gas generator and a solar generator, they complement each other very well. So if you can, it'd be nice to have one of each. Yep. David says, about to kill a plate of fish sticks. Well, enjoy. Enjoy. See you, Jacqueline. Good to see you. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what time is it? Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and start signing off. Okay, we're at the bottom too. Okay, we're down at the bottom. That's awesome. Let me see, Tristan. Tristan, how you doing, Tristan? Good to see you. I got 4 quarter ounce gold coins, 1 ounce total. Oh, hey, that's not a bad price. I stopped buying gold a long time ago. You remember, I used to buy the 10th ounces, and I have a few quarter ounces, and I even have a couple of half ounces. I forgot when I bought those darn things. That's how long I've been buying them. But I am going to consider getting some 1 ounce rounds, because I think it's important to have, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to try to fearmonger anyone, but I think that, there's going to come a time, and it may not be this year, and you know what? I read an article somewhere today. I forgot where it was, hot darn. And if you all remember me saying that this is going to be a slow roll, and that I think that it's going to take another decade or so, a decade to 12 years before things really get really, really bad. And I read an article today, and I think it was about Charles Nenner. And guess what Charles Nenner is saying? He's saying the next 12 years are just going to be a continual downturn. Right? I think it was on Zero Hedge. Charles Nenner. He was being interviewed by Greg Hunter. I love Greg Hunter, by the way. Go check him out on Rumble. All right, Greg Hunter, USA Watchdog. Check him out on Rumble. He's a good man. But yeah, Charles Nenner is saying, hey, the next 12 years are going to be, just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And we're probably going to see Dow at, 15,000 and below. So we'll see what happens. Linda, I have no idea. I have no idea. The best you can do is just go ahead and put it in a Faraday cage or something like that and hope for the best. But I really don't know. You hear so many things about EMPs and CMEs and whether it's going to damage this or not. You hear people say yes. You hear people say no. But I just really don't know. So I would hate to tell you something when I really don't know. Hello, Margarita. How are you doing? Okay. All right, David Frost. David Frost says, can't wait till the next live stream. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This was a surprise live stream. So we're going to have our regular live stream on Friday. And I do have something to talk about on Friday that I think it's pretty important. All right. I'm going to try my best not to go on a rant during that live stream. But having said that, let me go ahead and sign off with you all tonight. We do know that it is Wednesday, it's hump day, so you still have to get ready for work tomorrow. It is a school night for you all. All right, so let me see. Okay, so just make sure that I'm not missing anything here for the last ones. All right, having said that, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for joining in. Have a great rest of your week, and hopefully we'll see you all back on Friday. So remember to be good to each other. If you are new to the live stream, you've never been on a live stream, or if you've just subscribed in the last week or so, in all capital letters, put "I am new." That way, during our outro, we can go ahead and shout you out in the chats. All right. So remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and reach one. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I am out. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Harvey Black, how you doing, brother?